What if the sun, our life-giving star, were to suddenly go out like a blown-out candle? What would happen then? How would Earth and its inhabitants fare? Would we freeze or be plunged into an ice age? Would we turn into popsicles? Well, let's find out. You might think that the sun will just one day run out of fuel and that'll be the end of it, but this isn't how things work. The sun is a giant ball of burning plasma held together by its own gravity. Its core is under extreme pressure and temperatures as high as 15 million degrees Celsius. These conditions cause hydrogen atoms to slam into each other at high speed, forcing them to combine and form helium. This process releases tremendous amounts of energy in the form of light and heat. So what happens when the sun runs out of hydrogen fuel? It's not like it'll just go out like a flame. Instead, the sun will expand dramatically, engulfing the inner planets, including Earth. So if the sun were to somehow magically stop shining right now, we would all be fried to a crisp in a matter of minutes. But let's play out this scenario. For the sake of argument, let us assume that the sun did one day run out of fuel and its light and heat no longer reach Earth. What would happen next? Without the sun's energy, our planet would rapidly cool down. Temperatures would plummet from the comfortable 15 degrees Celsius to a chilly minus 18 degrees Celsius within just one day. Within a week, the entire planet would freeze solid. Oceans, lakes, and rivers would turn into solid ice. Plants and crops would wither and die. Animals would either freeze solid or would die from exhaustion trying to stay warm. Human beings would have a slightly better chance of survival, but only if they took shelter underground and used all the heat-generating devices at their disposal, such as fireplaces, furnaces, generators, and even microwave ovens. Even so, our food supplies would eventually run out, and the Earth's frozen crust would become a graveyard of humanity. In fact, scientists estimate that without the sun, Earth would become a lifeless ice cube within just 2 weeks. So much for doomsday scenarios where the sun explodes and burns up Earth. This doomsday scenario is far more plausible and terrifying. But wait a second, will Earth still orbit the sun if it's no longer shining? Yes, it will. You see, Earth is orbiting the sun because of the latter's gravity, and the gravitational force between two objects depends on their masses and the distance between them. In other words, as long as Earth and the sun are in their current positions relative to each other, nothing will change. That is until Earth reaches the point of no return, the perihelion, which is the closest point in Earth's orbit around the sun, which occurs every January. If the sun goes out before Earth reaches the perihelion, our planet will continue to orbit as usual. But if the sun goes out when Earth is close to its farthest point, also known as the aphelion, the consequences would be dire. Without the sun's gravitational pull, Earth would simply drift away into outer space, probably to wander aimlessly around the solar system forever. But what if the sun didn't go out, but instead began to collapse? As the sun collapses, it would begin to spin faster and faster. Our planet, along with the other inner planets, would be flung out into deep space. Mercury, Venus, and Earth would probably be ejected from the solar system entirely, while Mars would likely be pulled back by the remaining gravity of the collapsed sun and become its satellite. The inner solar system would be left empty, while the outer planets would continue to orbit the collapsed sun, which would now be just a tiny, incredibly dense object. As for us, we would face a slow and agonizing death as our bodies froze and turned into popsicles. At least we could enjoy the beautiful view of a collapsing star and the 7 planets that would fill our night sky. Just kidding, we wouldn't be able to enjoy anything as death would probably be pretty painful. In short, if the sun ever does go out, humanity had better start looking for a new star to worship. Or maybe we should start worshipping science and scientists who work tirelessly to help us learn more about our universe and everything in it. Now check out what would happen if the sun exploded, or watch this video instead.